Bienvenides, because Ivan is here too. Sorry, Ivan. As you can see in that first slide, we are ArLA. ArLA is a community that is a group of Latin American female architects that we created wanting to create a volunteering community in Australia. The idea is for us to connect and encourage and inspire one another in our professional journey in Australia. Next slide. Before we get started, just a couple of housekeeping rules so that we can all stay more or less organized. Remember that we're recording. I don't know if you all heard it or not, but yeah, we'll be recording this so that the video gets uploaded or sent to people's emails tomorrow. So smile and look amazing. If you could please keep your microphone muted until we're done, that will be appreciated. And toward the end, we'll do a Q&A part of this whole presentation. So you can send any questions that you may have, and then some of them will be selected just to be answered in the end of the presentation. And you can also raise your hand. There's a little symbol at the bottom of the screen that you can use to raise your hand or do some other reactions if you want to as we go. Next slide, Danny, please. This is where you can join us from. Look, those are all the cities where we are at the moment. We are now about 200 women across 7 Australian cities, and we're sharing common interests, goals, and expertise in the construction industry. This is a community where you can connect with like-minded women and expand your network and gain access to new opportunities. In the cities that we're showing here, there are coordinators that organize face-to-face meetings every second month or so of the month. And yeah, we can get to meet each other and support each other in the local communities. Slide 4. Okay, so this is Dani. She will be doing our LinkedIn and networking Australian job search tips webinar tonight. Dani is a designer with 9+ years experience in Chile and Australia, and she is ArLAS National Coordinator. She's responsible for overseeing ArLAS activities in the 7 cities that we are in right now. And Dani also coordinates online activities such as our webinars, workshops, and interviews. And the next one is the last one that speaks a bit about copyright. The content of the information provided in the presentation tonight is ArLAS, and we encourage you to share the info. However, please make sure that you acknowledge the source and make sure that you use it for non-commercial use, just personal use. So that's it for me, and you go, Dani.
Hello, everyone. I'm Dani. I already was introduced by Clara. Thank you for that. So today we are talking about 2 topics. The first one is networking. So what's networking? The definition of networking is the action or process of interacting with others to exchange information and develop professional or social contacts. As a first note, and a very important note, to do networking, please don't ask for a job. This is an advice that I got a few years ago when I needed the networking. And I think it makes sense because basically networking should be focused on building a strong relationship with people that in the future may lead into a job, but it's not the main purpose. So and that leads us to the next topic, because networking is not just about finding a job. There are 4 types of networking. People always refer to networking to the referral one, which is I met someone who can find me a job or who can give me a job. And the other ones are as important as the referral, which is information. So maybe sometimes you meet people that will give you information about a course that is out there, or information about a website that is having important, I don't know, amount of job offers. Then you also have advice from people who have been through the same thing as you, advice from someone with more experience, someone that maybe has something that can help you to find that job. And feedback. Feedback was one of my favorite ones, because I really wanted to show people my documents, and like seeking people to review my documents, because I thought that in that way I could improve them and develop them in a way that I felt comfortable by the time I got to the interviews. All these 4 type of networking are very, very important, because this is what is, that's the reason of our community. So within the community, you can find all of this. Here is a picture of us in the ArLAs Sydney, in the ARC agency networking event. So ideas for networking. The first one is joining groups such as ArLA. You also can find in Australia, Girls Australia, which is focused on professional development from across all the professions for Latin American women in Australia. NAWIC, which is National Australian Women in Construction, and WIDAC, which is Women in Design and Construction. Those are just examples, but there are plenty of them. You can also find Parlour, I think that's for architects, female architects in Australia. So these are just a few examples. Then you have networking events, such as the ARC agency, or the Australian Institute of Architects, or the Sydney Building Expo. You can find those activities in your cities, and the coordinators are also focusing on finding those ones. So then ArLA can go and attend all together, because that will be making things easier. And the third one, which is going to be part of this presentation, is the online presence. So building a strong personal brand and creating valuable content consistently. And the last important piece of advice, it is what I think it is important is don't abandon your network when you achieve your goal. This means I was trying to find a job, and I was struggling for months. Then I got to know people that they could find me a job, and then you just drop it. You don't talk to them anymore. And then what happens that maybe in the future you will be in the same situation, and then you won't be able to get back to those people because you already abandoned them. So the idea is to keep them, because as I mentioned before, the networking is not just about a referral. You can get advice on, I don't know, you got a promotion and then you need help with that, or you are moving to another role. So these people can help you to keep strong in the industry. It's not just about the first step in finding a job. It's also keeping yourself in the industry and with the general well-being involved in it, because it is hard to find a job, but it's also hard to stay in that job. So about the online presence, one of the most voted topics, actually it was the most voted topics for the next webinar, which is this one, was LinkedIn. So everyone was asking about LinkedIn, because in Australia it seems that LinkedIn is a platform where people not only post, I found another job, they actually use it for networking and also to be found for job offers. So what's LinkedIn? LinkedIn is the world largest professional network on the internet, and it's one click away from you. And the uses of LinkedIn is not just one. You can connect with other professionals in Australia. You can follow architectural firms, which I really encourage. So then you can keep updated with what's happening in the industry. And also you can, at times they might publish that they are advertising a new role, and then you can apply straight away. Connect with recruiters. This is something that is also good because sometimes recruiters won't go to the Indeed or Seek, and they will just post a picture of a new role, and then you can connect with them directly. Another thing that I really recommend, if you are looking for a job and you don't want to spend like a lot of money in a course, is paying the premium membership, which is, I think, like $40 per month. I'm not getting here any sponsors, but we are talking about LinkedIn, and they have this option where you pay monthly. You can also claim that in your tax at the end of the year. And LinkedIn Learning has so many courses where you can improve your experience. You can improve your knowledge. So it could be from project management, leadership, to how to use Revit, learning a new computer skill or whatever, everything is in there. So I strongly recommend it. I did some of the courses, and I think they were very useful. And also, when you complete those courses, you can also put them in your profile. So then people looking at your profile, they will know what you have been doing. And the last one is LinkedIn Jobs. And there is a reason why I put it at the last, because I do find that LinkedIn is more to be found than for you to find a job. Because most of the time you will go and find a LinkedIn job offer, and it will have 300 applicants. And then you will be like, why am I applying to this? Like 300 people that probably are better than me, etc. But still apply. You don't lose anything. But I feel, and my personal opinion, I mean, my personal experience has been that it's easier to be found than you trying to hunt your next role. So where to start? Setting up your profile. You need to have a strong personal brand. And this is the personal brand checklist. I have been talking throughout all the webinars that we have been doing about the personal brand. What is a personal brand? Well, it's you as a person, and with your values, with your academic achievements, with your work experience, but also you as a person. So, and for LinkedIn, if you have a strong personal brand, then you will start having more, you will increase your visibility. So the first thing is completing all the sections, because when you create your profile, LinkedIn will start telling you what's next. And then also will show you when your LinkedIn isn't strong, it will tell you your profile is weak. So it will tell you what you're missing for that to be strong. So the first thing is the name, which makes sense, but as Latin American, we have sometimes up to 3 names and 2 surnames, and they are very, very long. So what I suggest, if your name and surname are very, very long, you can shorten it. Like, this is not an official document. You can have a nickname there. For example, I could be Dani Silva instead of Daniela Silva. I still feel that my name is not that long, but if it was that long, I will be shortening the name. And then we have a personalized URL, sorry, URL, and make it simple, because LinkedIn by default creates one that will have numbers, that will have special characters, and then it's when you go and you turn it into something simple. something short as well, is if possible, because sometimes we want to put our full name, and that also makes harder for people to contact you. Also, that makes like when you put your link for LinkedIn on your documents, if it's personalized, also shows a little bit of that you care about that, and that's good. The other very important thing is a personalized headline. So you have your name, and under your name you have this headline, which is going to be in everything you post, in every comment you do. So it is very important that what you put in there is adding information and is adding value to your profile. It could be because a lot of people just put their current job position, which I don't really recommend, because you are more than what you are working at the moment. I think you can put maybe something that you are doing on top of what everyone else is doing. There is this ArLA member who was she also created a brand of joinery. So I said, put it there. You have to also show that you do bespoke joinery. So it's not just about, oh, I want this type of work, this type of job, so I will stick to that. You can create, you can attract more people by just showing who you are. Then we have the profile banner or background, it's called as well. You can either put a picture or a quote or your personal details, if you don't mind to be contacted directly. And that also will add some value. The About Me section, which I really recommend to use keywords. So you go to the LinkedIn jobs, then you go and you can find a couple of jobs that is what you want. Then you check the job description, and with the job description, you will start finding words that they want you to have in your documents, and that's what you put in your About Me section. Also, people recommend in the About Me section putting misspellings of your name, because people can find you. For example, for me, it will be Daniela with double L. So it is good to have it in your About section. And lastly, the skills. Make sure that you have your skills up to date. Same with the education. You have a section for the education, another section for training. Make sure that your education is what you have done formally, like in university. But in training, you put all these other courses that you keep for developing your career. I don't recommend that putting those courses that are like shorter than a university degree in your education section, because it will be shown under your name. So the idea is to have the highest degree that you have under your name, and the rest can be part of your profile. So an example of visibility and less visibility and more visibility, the one on the left, you don't have a picture, or you might have a picture, but you don't have a banner. And then I put some examples. Obviously, you can put here whatever you want. You can go to Canva, which is another software that we use a lot in ArLA. You can type there, you can have it for free. You don't need to pay a membership for that. And you can create your own banner, and it could be like showing some value, or you can just use it as a business card. Sorry. This also will make, if someone wants to check your profile, they will click on your profile and then we'll see something that is different. So that will keep in their mind. I think that is important. And I think this is the most important section on LinkedIn, the recommendations. I think it is important that you reach to your colleagues or bosses or someone related in the industry that know you, and ask for a recommendation. You can just click and contact them, ask for a recommendation, obviously letting them know beforehand, but you can send the link and they go click and they can write the recommendation. It is very, very important because these are like the references that you put in your on your resume, but this is always there. It's not just available upon request. It's always there, and it will skip you one step for the job search. And as you receive, it's also good to give others recommendations. So you can reach to people and saying, hey, I'm doing this because I need to strengthen my profile. Would you do a recommendation for me? I'm happy to do one for you. And then you can start also writing for others. Then something very important in the work experience that I have mentioned before, so you can go and go deep in the other presentations, you can see this more in depth. The first thing is keeping the information consistently in all the documents, because the recruiter might be checking your resume and then they will go and check your LinkedIn, and if the dates are not right or if the names of the companies are not right, it might be discouraging. Then I also recommend linking the offices that you worked on. So most of the offices, if not every office, will have a LinkedIn profile, so you can go and set up your work experience with linking that company, so then they can go and check if that company really exists. I think that's very valuable. On the other side, don't forget to add the field of architecture. So if you did residential, commercial, industrial, whatever architecture you did, add it in your profile. In every company, also, it's very, very recommended to do a company brief, because not everyone knows the companies where we worked on, if they are like a medium size or small size, or the type of work that they did. Maybe if it's important that the amount of years that they are in the industry. Some companies have been here for like, I don't know, 50 years, so that's important. So add it there. And I strongly recommend using bullet points with keywords and action words in the job descriptions. So you not only go and say, I was a designer at X company, but you also create some, you give some detail about what you did. And it's not a list of duties. Is what I think it is the most recommended thing is that you go and put what you did above and beyond your duties. And also to show other skills, like maybe leadership, maybe mentoring. You did something that you need to think about what you have done in your job, and then you can put it in there. And the next one, something really important about LinkedIn is that he doesn't know about privacy. By default, you can change these settings, but if you want to have visibility, you will have to have this turned on. So every comment, every reaction that you have to another person's comment, if you share content, all of this will be shared with all your contacts. So it is very, very important that if you are working in your personal brand, that you need to be mindful and strategic. Sometimes you just want to be part of a group and posting things in that group or making comments on that group, so then people will start noticing your name everywhere. Also, that means keep to yourself comments that might be offensive or might be racist or might be discriminating. because I've seen those, and obviously it's not the right place to do those comments, if there is any right place to do those comments. But yeah, LinkedIn doesn't know about privacy, so be very mindful of what you share, and yeah, you can use it in your favor. As I mentioned, you can use it as a strategy to be out there, be seen. So it's not entirely bad. This is also going to show when you move to another role, or if you move to another job. If you move from companies, it will announce to everyone that you got a new job. You can also remove these settings, change these settings to something more private. But as I mentioned before, you want to be out there if you're trying to find a job, or if you're trying to find clients, because this is not just about being employed. You can also be employing, or you can be independent. So you can use LinkedIn for all of this. And something really important, in my case, I've been found twice on LinkedIn. I wasn't looking for a job. I was reached by recruiters asking if I was interested in whatever role I was available. And in the beginning, I wasn't really putting much attention in my profile. But then when I thought, okay, this is something that is real here in Australia, I started paying more attention of what I was putting out there. If you want to be found, you need to have a strong personal brand. As I mentioned before, you really do, you tidy up your profile. You can also you can link this with your portfolio, your resume, optimizing your profile. As I mentioned before, the more the better, because if you are writing everywhere, you will have more keywords that will make you more foundable. I don't know how to say that, but yeah. And something that it's been, there is people that think that it's not true. There is other people that think that it is true. But when we are trying to find a job, when we are unemployed, we tend to put the open to work banner over our profile picture. In my personal opinion, I don't think that should be done. I've been reading things that say that that banner even ironically decrease your visibility with recruiters. So don't put it there. Just go to the setup of your account, and then you respond the questions that you are open to work, but don't click in the part where they ask you to put this banner. Also, it is about something that I also learned in my job search, is that if you sound desperate for a job, it is hard that someone will employ you. You need to sound relaxed. You need to sound that you're going with the flow, even though you are like not really going with the flow. But at least you need to show that you are relaxed, trying to find the next opportunity. So don't put that there. And this is something as well that is being developing, because when I first did my first training on LinkedIn, because I did one, they said that you have to have 100 connections. And now they say that to have a strong profile, you need to have over 500 connections. I don't have 500 connections. I think it is very hard, and I have started connecting when I feel that I need to connect, not all the time. I think if you are in the job search, you should be trying to connect with 10 people per week, meaning you have to send a lot of connection requests. How do you do this? You don't just click everywhere or aim to everyone or anyone, because the idea is that you target people that might lead you into the next role. So search in the top search bar, you can go and put things like, I don't know, architectural graduate, and it will show you all the architectural graduates. Or it will, I don't know, sustainability in architecture, and then it will give you people with that profile. So then you connect with those, obviously trying to be in Australia or in the city where you are at the moment. and send them a message. That's why maybe set up like a goal per week, and then you start building up that those connections. I think I have like 460 or something like that, but it's being developed over like 3 years or something like that. So don't feel discouraged if you have, I don't know, 100 connections, because you can still get to a point where you will get more visibility. And as I said before, use keywords across your profile, and this will be increasing the chances that recruiters might get to your profile, and keep your experience section up to date. Because at times we say, oh, I found a job, I don't need to find another job, and you don't update anything. So whatever's in there happened 3 years ago, and then suddenly you have the most amazing job opportunity, and you might miss it because you didn't update that part. So I really recommend that. Also that, as I mentioned before, it has to be all connected with the rest of your documents. This is just one more of your documents. It can also help you to do the easy apply that LinkedIn Jobs has, but I don't really recommend doing the easy to apply, because the idea is that when you try to find that job, you need to tailor your application. Otherwise, it will be lost in the thousands of other applicants. So that was it. I got this. I thought I was going to take longer, but this is very good, because then we have time for questions. Here
Yeah.
sorry.
No, I was going to say thank you, Danny. That was really good. A lot of info, but it was
Yeah.
really good. Thank you so much.
Thank you for that. I also take advantage of this slide to mention that we are in all the social media platforms. You can find us on LinkedIn, of course. It's a closed group, so you need to ask for permission to get in. The Instagram that is open, they have all the information. Now you can actually have access to this link in our bio, and then you can get to all these platforms. So it makes so much easier to access all these groups. On Facebook, we also have a private group where now we have over 200 members, which is very, very good. And also we are organizing activities in our WhatsApp chats. So if you haven't joined and if you would like to participate in the activities, you can let us know and we can send you the link.
Yeah, I think somebody was asking before, not here, not now, but at some point. They didn't realize that there was an ArLA group for WhatsApp, the Australia one, and then there was one for each one of the cities. So that's something that is good for everybody to know. If you find your local group, that is something that, you know, adds a bit extra to the whole thing, because you can actually meet up with people, not necessarily for an event. Even if you feel like, I don't know, having a coffee with someone, having a chat, somebody that is in the same situation that you're in, that's all really good. That's part of what we're trying to do here.
Yes.
There are a couple of questions, Danny. I don't know if you need a bit of water before you continue, or if you're happy to answer now. And are we going to do like a Q&A, as in people unmuting themselves, or is it all written questions?
If someone wants to say it loud, just raise your hand.
Oh, the raise hand. Yeah.
So if you prefer to put it in the chat, that will be good as well, because then we can keep track of all the questions and we can select ones that are not repeated. So then when you say that LinkedIn is to be found rather than finding a job, who exactly will send you a message or find you? Recruiters? Or how do you reach to, the HR or the companies you want to work for? Recruiters. they will not only recruiters. I've also got some messages, and I've got some interviews from hiring managers. So you never know who's looking at your profile. That's why I feel that is to be found, because people will be looking how you interact, the value of the content that you are sharing, and they might approach to you. But mainly recruiters, they actually work in a great percentage just on LinkedIn, trying to find people. So yeah, that's what I mean. I don't know if I responded the question.
Yeah, I think what you're saying makes sense. I've had the chance to talk to different recruiters like that too. Sometimes they just, they just want to chat. They just see that you're not Kiara is saying yes, thanks then. Sometimes recruiters will see that, for example, in my case, I don't have like the where are you working now section of the profile. I don't have that completed at the moment. So sometimes people will just say, oh, where are you at the moment, because your profile doesn't say. So they are actually just having a look around and seeing who's available or who's looking for work or open to work without the green ribbon.
Without putting it here in your forehead. Yeah. So
and Kiara was also asking about career breaks, whether you think that that's something that we should be adding to the experience part of our profile.
Yeah, actually, now LinkedIn has, when you go to the experience section, it has an option to put a career break. If you want to add it, that's a personal decision. Some people decide just to put some makeup on and say that they did something else. Or some people just say, I don't know, I was on maternity leave, or I was taking care of a sick person, or I was just taking some time off because I was burnt out. I don't know.
Yeah.
Or some people just, now it is more common to have breaks. And you can even say, oh, I wanted to travel for a whole year, and I did, and I gained all this experience. So you can share that part of your life if you feel that it's going to add value to your personal brand. If not, you keep it to yourself. Yeah, I care about this gap, but then when you have a strong profile, no one will care if you have 3 months gap or 6 months gap, or oh, you didn't work for a year. But maybe before, years ago, they were asking more about those things. But now with COVID, I don't know, a lot of people lost their jobs, and I think recruiters and hiring managers started being more human, understanding of personal situations. So I don't know, I've noticed that change. So I think it's good to embrace it if you feel that is adding value to your career progress.
Yeah, and I think something else to take into account is that sometimes people will be more curious than anything else, and they will ask you, but it's not necessarily because they're trying to judge that gap that you have on your resume. They just want to know what you've been up to, like seriously. And you can say something like the truth, and they will like that, and it's totally fine.
Yeah, and sometimes I feel that if they don't like that, you had to take some time off because you were taking care of a loved one, or if you were in maternity leave, then that's not the place that you should be working at. Because if they don't share that, that's one of your values. Like, I'm willing to lose income for someone else. So if they dislike that, you shouldn't be liking that company.
Sure. Yeah, it's a red flag, isn't it?
It is a strong one. Very big one. So there was another big question. Career breaks. I think it's all.
Camila is asking, in the case we are working in something a little bit related to our field, but we're still looking for a job, should we put that we're working on at the moment? They may not think that you're available. Camila, I think she's saying that, yeah, maybe she has a job, but she's open to something better, maybe.
Look, Camila, I have got more job offers when I have a job than when I don't have a job. So if you sound busy, it is a good thing for them. So you should be putting that experience. It might be adding value to like your whole profile. Maybe especially if you're saying that is something that is related to the field, I think it's good. I think it's good.
There's Gabriela. She's asking if you would recommend to start doing an internship if I didn't work in that area before. 100%.
That was my way to start working in Australia. That's why I advocate for the internships. A lot of people don't like them. What I recommend is to take internships part-time. So either 2 times, maximum 3 times a week, 3 days a week, and then you have time to make money with something else. So and you are gaining experience, you are understanding the industry. Also, you are not full-time trying to learn everything, so you have breaks doing something else, and then you get back to the office again. And because most of them are unpaid, some of them are paid, so don't think that all the internships are unpaid. But something very important is that they can't be over 3 months if they are unpaid. After 3 months, they have to start paying you. That's very important, so people don't take advantage of your hard work.
So then it's not like usually if you apply for an internship, they will expect that you have experience in the field, right? You can go there and say, it's my first job in the field.
Sorry for referring again to my experience, but what happened to me was that I had worked as a drafter before, and I really wanted to work in design. So I knew that I had to do like a step back for that. So that's why I got an internship in design, and then I could keep going like that. So it's just giving up a little bit. Obviously being strategic and not just going there for free and then not having any income. That's why I recommended part-time, especially if they are really, because what happened to me is that I started 2 days, then they offered me a 3rd day and they were paying that 3rd day. So if they like you, they will try to keep you. And it's also something to show the company, it's not entirely correct, but it's also to show the company that you know and that you're valuable, and they might even offer you a full-time position. Who knows?
Sure.
But more than 3 months, no. It has to be maximum that, otherwise they are not proceeding correctly.
Right, and there's something, this is my question, sorry, Gabriela, I'm adding stuff to your question, but how about, so I don't know if you refer to local experience or overseas experience, but say if I don't have any local experience, because that's the thing, right? When you get to Australia, you don't have local experience. So is any internship, would you say that any internship in the field is just better than nothing to start with? Okay.
Yeah, 100%.
Because it's like that first door, right? That opens.
Yeah. Yeah, and it doesn't have to be perfect. That might lead you into a better opportunity in no time. So yeah, maybe we can go to the next question.
Fernanda, would it be good adding architectural firms to your network on LinkedIn?
You follow the firms, so you can connect to them. And you can see what they are doing. People is not really interacting much because they interact from their own profiles that are linked to their companies. But the companies, it's like a website. Now, I think it is the new form to do a website where they're going to publish that they won this award in whatever, or they won this project, whatever else, or they will be updating. They will be showing the construction process of one of the projects. So it is good to connect with them, but don't expect to get any direct interaction with them, then it's when you go to their LinkedIn and then you see who's working there. And you connect with them and you try to talk to them, to the people, not to the company.
Right.
And yeah, sometimes it's what am I going to say? It is hard to reach out. It's hard to start that conversation. But sometimes I just put, when I'm really interested in connecting with someone, I just put like, oh, I just wanted to expand my network. Not really asking anything. And then if something start happening, if that person responds, then you can start a conversation. But before, just put something to break the ice, but don't expect much. I think from the 1,000 messages that you will send, probably, I don't know, 10 will respond. So that's why this is a long process that will take time to get where you want. But some people say that no, it is a bit creepy to be contacting people that you don't know, which can be true on Facebook, for example. But LinkedIn is literally just professional networking. So when you do professional networking, you don't want to make friends. You don't want to be talking about personal stuff. You might in the future if you become friends with one of your connections. But in the beginning, it's just everything is within the professional context.
Yeah. I think something to take into account, or to, I don't know, something that I practice anyway, is when people message me, I always reply on LinkedIn. Even if it is just thank you for your message. You know, sometimes recruiters will send you like the random message that, you know, they send everybody else, and they send it to you, even though you have a job and everything, they send it to you. I think even if you get that, it's nice to say, thanks for your message. I'm not looking for a job right now, but I'll keep you in mind for the future, because it's a way, you know, to show a bit of, you know,
Respect.
you're messaging me. If I message you, that's what I would expect in return, right?
Yeah, and also in that case, because when you're happy where you are working and you keep getting these messages with job offers, because as I mentioned before, when you are looking for a job, you don't get any offers, but when you are not looking for a job, then it's when you start getting offers. So what I do is that I thank the person for the message, and I also, if I read the job description and I think that there is someone that can fit in that job description, I said, do you mind if I send this to someone else? And they will always say, yes, of course, you can send it to someone else. So then I will refer that other person. And then it's when you start, you know, doing that other part of networking, which is referral. So
and sometimes you can get a bonus for that. Some some referees will you'll get like $500 or something.
If it start happening often enough, I think it will be a good deal.
Make it a permanent job.
Fernanda is asking if I will recommend connecting with other ALA members in LinkedIn. Of course, yes. We encourage that in if you go to our Instagram, on the highlights of the Instagram, you will have our team. So we have all the team bios where you can know a little bit of our background. And at the end, they will have the LinkedIn profile. So you can go and type that. They are all personalized as I asked them to do. So it's going to be easy to find.
Good. And then there are two questions in relation to current jobs. So Ivan is asking, is it good to add your current job to LinkedIn? Would they be able to see that you're looking for a job? The current one?
I don't think, I think there is a misunderstanding that updating your profile means that you're looking for a job. I think LinkedIn should be updated always, not just when you are in the job hunting time. So what I've done, and this is going to be on YouTube, when I don't want people to know what I'm doing, I just go and change the settings. So you can go and change the settings to, no one can see what I'm doing. Then I do all the changes, and then I'm back again to everyone can see what I'm doing. So then no one will have the big news that Daniela is moving, or the big news that Daniela quit her job or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
I keep that to myself.
But also you don't want to be spamming people, right? With every update that you
Oh,
make
that's
to
LinkedIn.
your profile.
Yeah, when you are creating your profile, that will be the
Exactly.
case, because you are going to be posting. I think, I don't know if because I had my profile for quite a while, so I don't remember if it was posting every single a job that we were adding. I think it would just add the latest, but yeah, I don't know.
I'm not sure, but I think it'd be good to have a look at those settings before, you know, you start typing like with all the typos or
Yeah, in all the settings. I think, yeah, if you don't want people to know, like, people won't be checking your profile, because I mean, people that know how to use LinkedIn, because LinkedIn will also tell you who is looking at your profile. So that's another creepy thing that LinkedIn has, is that you can, now, if you use premium, you can see who is looking. When you don't have premium, you will see who is looking at the moment that they are looking. So they click and then you will get a message, then you can go, and for a few hours, it will show you who was looking at your profile, but then it will hide it. So it will say someone from this company was looking at your profile. You can still guess most of the time when someone is stalking your profile, but yeah, you can also, I mean, I don't think you can deactivate that. The only thing that you can do is yeah, they don't tell the other person that you were the one checking, but they will also get a notification that the profile was checked by someone. So yeah. But yeah, if you currently have a job, you can still develop your personal brand. You can still connect. I've seen a lot of people. I don't really post anything on LinkedIn, but I've seen a lot of people that use this as a journal. You know, a journal where they will post. When I was in the job search during COVID, not a very good time, my coach at the time was saying, you need to be posting every day or every week something. And I was like, what am I going to post? And then, okay, ideas will be posting a render of one of your projects, or then a reflection of someone else's project, or, you know, in the news, there was this guy winning this prize, then you can go and repost it, and then you write something about it. So it doesn't have to be like, I'm doing this. It's also having opinions of what's happening in the world, and that will also develop your personal brand, because obviously you will be selecting what you want to show, so that will talk about you.
not so obviously. Some people don't select too much. I think they just like everything, they react to everything.
Exactly.
That's a
And
good point.
and it's because they don't know how to use the platform, and it can be against you, or can be playing for you, you know, it can be on your favor.
Sure.
So if
So Annalise was asking,
I can't really see if you
yeah,
can.
Annalise was asking if you already have a job currently, but you want to start looking for another one, who do you put as a reference contact? And when you update your LinkedIn, will they know that you're looking for a new job?
No. When you have the open to work here in the banner, yes, of course. But that's why you deactivate that one. You don't click on that one. You click on, I want only recruiters to know that I'm looking for a job. So the recruiters will be you will be in the list of people that is available for work, but no, I think it's called looking for opportunities, something like that. No, or I'm looking for new opportunities, or I'm open to new opportunities, or I'm actively searching. So you can activate those things, but keep it in secret. So keep it to yourself.
Is that only for recruiters, Danny, or could there be, I don't know,
So
hiring managers or people from HR in different companies?
The
Also,
settings says make me visible to recruiters. So it could be, I'm not sure if LinkedIn has like a special account for recruiters. It might be, but yeah, it will be increasing the visibility to everyone looking for your job role, your
Right.
role, or your name.
Looking to hire, right?
Exactly.
So Annalise was asking about a reference contact. Would you, I think she's referring to those recommendations that you spoke about.
Well, what I heard from one of the recruiters that I know is that they will never call your last employer, because it makes sense that if you're not telling them that you're leaving, they're not going to call them to ask a reference about you. So I think it is important that over time you build your relationships and you build your connections, and then is when you ask for references. But because I think your question goes more what you put in your resume more than what you put on your LinkedIn, because LinkedIn references are more organic. So something happens, for example, for me was that I got fired from this job because of COVID, and people was offering, oh, what can I do for you? And my answer was, you can do a reference for me, So then I had managers, like the surveyors managers. It doesn't have to be just another colleague or your boss. It can be a client. It can be anyone that can refer you as a professional. Okay. That's the thing. You need to choose who you have in your on your contact list, but it's also like Facebook. It's like any other social media account. Like sometimes people will go and add their bosses on Instagram, and then they will say I'm sick, and then they will be at the beach. So yeah, I don't know. You can, as I mentioned before, Annalise, you can deactivate all the activities from your account. So while you are job searching or updating your profile so it's visible, you can deactivate that option and then you reactivate it again for interactions. But yeah, I think that's possible.
Yeah, that's right.
So it's better to do all these changes when offline. Yeah, it will be like offline. Yeah, you are hidden.
Right.
So yes, Ivan is also mentioning that the premium subscription can be put towards our taxes. That's because it's under professional development. You can put it in there. I already did, so it's true.
Yes. Did they give you money back?
$2, like something like that.
Yeah, that's right.
But yeah, it is possible. Yeah, it's something that it will add. It will add.
To that.
Yeah. So I think,
Awesome.
yeah, I'm very proud that we did it over just 1 hour. And I don't know if someone else has another question, but if you have, you can leave it on the chat, and then we can answer it in our WhatsApp chats, or we can we can answer as well in the groups. So yeah, thank you for coming. Thank you for trusting us. Another thing to mention before we leave is that we used to do these webinars for free. This is a volunteering job, volunteering thing that we're doing, but it also needs money to be keep running. So that's why we were trying to ask for donations. So the money that you are donating for this activity, it will go towards paying those subscriptions, because all of these need subscriptions, like Zoom, or, we are developing a website. So the money is in there. No one is taking advantage of it. So I don't know. This thing is growing. I never expected this to be in 7 cities in Australia. So now we are trying to put that professional thing in the brand. So that's to keep in mind. Yeah, so have a good night.
Awesome. Thank you, Dani. Thank you so much. Thanks
Ciao,
everyone
ciao.
for coming.